Cool. So, it's time for Flash Talks. Here's Gaz again. Pops up everywhere, doesn't he? Okay, so this is the time of the night where it's your chance to come up here. You get the microphone, you can either ask a question of the audience or you can talk about anything regarding testing for sort of, I don't know, half a minute to 3 minutes. It's up to you. Any over 3 minutes, I tend to punch you, but anybody want to come up and do a lightning talk, apart from Duncan, who wants to use his Rolf Harris chart here? Our first lightning talk, it's Matt. Cool, man. Yeah.
So there's a question I tend to ask in interviews, which I really like asking. It says a lot about people, really, which is, why do you love testing? So, why do you love testing? Does anyone want to answer that? What do you really love about testing? Why do you do it? What do you love about it as a job?
He knows he's finding stuff out.
Anyone else?
It's like detective work.
Detective work?
You know there's bugs in there.
Yeah. So you're like Sherlock Holmes, basically. Who committed the murder? Yeah. Anyone else?
Breaking the developers.
Breaking the developers. See,
Who said that? Oh my God.
I actually had someone once actually.
That's 1990s, that.
Yeah, I actually had someone in an interview say that as an answer. Go, I love telling developers where they've done things wrong. You're like, not going to last very long here. Anyone else?
Making things better.
Making things better.
Oh, okay.
So improving quality and making it better for the customers.
Every day's different.
Sense of achievement when it goes live, you know, and you get it across the line.
Yeah, so you're sort of involved in the whole process of delivering this beautiful piece of software, hopefully.
Yeah.
Or maybe not.
Every day seems different.
Every day seems different, yeah. Involved through the whole process, so you get to see, hopefully get to see the products before it's developed, when we're designing it, when it's developed, when it gets out there, how people use it, learn everything about it. Yeah, there's loads of stuff, so yeah, just something to think about. Another one?
I'm not going to answer what I like about testing, but testing as a career, for me, what keeps me interested is it's always changing. There's always something new, there's always something else to learn, there's always something else to do and break and share, you know, that's what keeps me coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's my number one thing, is always learning, basically. It never stops. Always giving something new to learn. Say the developers are starting to learn some new language even, and I have to go figure something out about that. How do I talk to the developers about particular issues? Maybe you need to learn a little bit of language or whatever. So yeah, you're always learning. So yeah, just wanted to throw that one out there.
Thanks, Matt. Round of applause for Matt. And there's Matt as a little child being traumatised. I'm only joking. Is there anybody else, Duncan? Oh, a deal, okay. Oh, this is getting really tasty now. Go on then.
If I ask one of my data scientist colleagues, because I'm not a data scientist, just to summarise what they do, well, all the testers in the room give us 3 key pointers to introducing automated testing.
Up you come. Up you come. That's a deal. I'm speaking on behalf of the testers in the room, by the way. So there you go, if you want to talk into that.
Thanks.
Okay, so. Contestant number 2, what's your name? Where'd you come from?
I'm Katie and I come from North Wales.
Off you go, the floor's yours.
So I started as a data manager and now I'm responsible for a project that sends floats that are essentially robots into the ocean, and they collect data and they transmit that data up to satellites and it comes back to us, and then we process that data in near real time and get it out to operational weather forecasting within 24 hours, and then we also do delayed mode stuff on that. And my background's in oceanography and science. Software development was very new to me when I started, and one of the things that we have struggled with, actually, and the reason I'm here, is getting diagnostics and testings into our system with very little resource and very little infrastructure already in place. So that's the reason I'm here, is to find out a bit more about the way that people are using testing and automated testing and testing infrastructure.
So, before we before someone answers the 3 points that you want in return, I heard something really interesting. There's a really good podcast called A/B Testing. It's a brilliant podcast. It's 2 guys from Microsoft. I don't know their names, but they've realised that the skill sets in data scientists are very aligned and akin to people in the software world, obviously, but testers. So much so that Microsoft have actually put one of them as head of the data scientists. And that's another way that testers need to evolve and spot opportunities and think about the future and think about what's coming up. And data, big data, data scientists. And I know I've taken the mickey a bit tonight, but it's been in a nice way. And Microsoft have realised that these 2 parties were quite similar in their skill set, so they've actually sort of put the head of A/B testing in charge of data scientists now. But as part of the deal, what was it you were after again? Because I've forgotten what I promised to.
3 key pointers in introducing automated testing.
Okay, so does anybody want to give 1 pointer for automation?
Automate what's easy and what's boring. Stuff that you have to do all the time. So automate that first, so that leaves you free to concentrate on more interesting bits of test.
Automate your pain. So seriously, have you heard about the guy who automated his work life? He's a hero. He's a legend. So what was a pain in his daily work life? It was his wife. His wife. No, seriously, bear with me on this one. His wife kept sending him emails every day about 8 minutes. What are you doing now? What time are you coming home? Stuff like that. So replying to his wife was a pain. So he created a big batch of automated email replies. He wrote a script that searched the keywords within the emails, and then he automated it to send one of those back. He then automated making coffee. It was a pain in his life, walking to the coffee machine, pressing the button, waiting, a minute for a coffee to come out. He wrote a script that bypassed it hacked the coffee machine. It bypassed the payment mechanism. That's a tick from me. And it dispensed the coffee. So that script took 21 seconds. Why 21 seconds? That's the time it took him to leave his chair to get to the coffee machine. It took away his pain. What's our pain in our world right now? Data creation. So if it's that long for a tester to do a task, but actually that much is data creation and that much is test execution, you want to automate that bit. And probably automate the test execution, but get the tester to point B as quick as you can. Sorry, so you've got 2 points there. Anybody want to throw a 3rd point in? Okay, at the back.
Don't automate for the sake of it. If it doesn't need testing, it doesn't need automating.
So people that automate in your company, they're not been there 20 years, because don't introduce them to Paul. So that's a really good point. So I know late rooms only automate what's important to the user. So late rooms is a hotel booking site. So they only automate finding a hotel, booking a hotel, paying a hotel. That's it, because all their other automation is at unit level or API level. So they've got such confidence in automating at the lower back end and shifting left, but actually on the UI fronts, they've only got 3 automation tests. Is that right? I'm speaking on behalf of your company here, but...
Yeah, no, I was listening, mate, I said.
No, did I summarise that all right? Because that's what we picked up from our visit to you.
It's like Burritos one, so you get 20% with the effort, 80% of the kind of payroll. Simple as that, really.
And I do love another comment from Chris, and I robbed it and put it into my talk at the test conference and claimed it as my own. It was basically, don't make great testers into very poor developers. And I think that's a really, there's a lot of talk about testers need to become programmers. And if you start taking a tester down the path of automating, the eventual endpoint is they become a programmer. Well, let the tester go as far as they want in the technical world, but focus on their strengths. So don't turn brilliant testers, exploratory testers that add value, into really bad automation guys. Okay. But testers must always upskill. Is there another one that anybody wants to throw out there? Ian?
Following on from what the guys were saying before, manage your expectations of automation as well. Look up the common mistakes, the pitfalls, the fallacies, like thinking I can automate everything, or that automation can replace a tester, because at the end of the day it's a machine and it can only look for what you tell it to look for. So it'll never replace that human element.
So when the Titanic was created, it was unsinkable. Okay? So when some developers create code and say it doesn't need manual eyes on it, you know, there's a balance, isn't there? It's getting the balance right for what's right in your industry. Getting the context right, as Duncan would say. It's all about the context. Okay, we'll go to Ethan at the back. Sorry, you've already had a go.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
So remember that you don't just have to make automated tests, you don't have to make something like automated tests from start to finish, you can also automate the process. So for something that manual testers are always doing, say they're always placing orders, you can just make a tool that would make that easier for them, that they can use in their manual test. It doesn't just have to be a full test from start to finish.
So maybe test automation, drop the test out of it, just call it automation. Great, you're getting more than 3 here, Jesus Christ. So do you want to grab a seat? You're kicking up on the front here on camera. Craig?
Work with the development team so that they understand how your automation works. Because if they change something, you don't want all your automation to stop working.
Great show.
You want your test to fail for a certain reason, but you don't want everything to fail because they change one thing.
Okay, so you've got more than 3. You owe us another talk one day. But there's a community here, right? So what's really cool about the community, you can go out and visit them in work time, reach out to the people in this room, and I bet you half of them would welcome you on their site at work and take this into a deeper level for you. I'm absolutely certain they will, because they're a good bunch. Duncan, you coming up to do a lightning talk?
I'll do it after, because of time. We've got 2 more questions from Facebook.
Oh, okay. So, what the questions for Gordon? Oh, he's already got them.
He's got them.
Yeah. Gordon, you're going to have to come up and take the mic, mate, so we can get it on YouTube. All this goes on YouTube as
well. Okay. So the answer was, which is a brilliant question, can Agile be scaled to larger teams, 50 plus, etc.? The answer is that people are developing ways of doing that now. If you go on to, and I've actually done a 3-part blog on that and a webinar. So you can go on to cpine.com, and if you search for Gordon Alexander, I have got a blog on that, so you can read that. And there's also one thing that's also might be quite interesting. I don't know if you've looked at the Scaled Agile Framework, or SAFe. I mean, there's a little bit of debate around whether you should be having something like the Scaled Agile Framework, which is, some people are claiming it's a bit of a reinvention of RUP or something like that, which is an anti-agile thing. But if you have a look at my blog, for what it's worth, and also have a look at SAFe, that gives you a bit of an idea about where we are in terms of that. So kind of what I'm thinking in terms of scaling Agile, it kind of goes back, I think, for what it's worth, which is not necessarily that much, but I think the key to scaling Agile is what I was talking about earlier. And remember, I am a tool guy, so I am, to a certain extent, constrained in my thinking. But what I think it's to do with, if you want to scale Agile, I think a very important thing is how do you link the high-level planning activities? So that is things like road mapping, requirements, because the company is going to want to specify a strategic direction, regardless of what so the Agile teams do need to be self-directing, but they can't set the strategic direction. So I think it's how you glue together the strategic direction activities, how you glue them together with the Scrum teams. And I guess, I'm really only looking at it from a technology perspective, and that's why I talk about, from a technology perspective, you need a tool which does the full end-to-end thing. So that would be my take on it. Any other take on it? Go on.
Our teams are scaled from 20, we have 3-year development cycles for our games. And we start with 20 people and we scale up to 150 people at peak. QA can scale up to 100 people, testers at peak, on top of the entire development team. The major challenge we see with Agile is communication, that I think once we hit 100 plus, we see that the more different communication channels you have, and when you put distributed development in the mix as well. You are introducing a lot more points of failure. So if you are not very clear, transparent with your communication, it just becomes a huge mess. So aside from tool, I think really clear processes, a clear framework, team rules, and frequent communication through different channels, not just email, is really, really key.
I think you're looking at this from a tools perspective. I hate tools. I'm going to look at it from a people perspective. I think, and again, this is only my opinion, if you've got the right culture and the right mindset bleeding throughout the whole company, I believe you can actually scale up. So that's not looking at the tool perspective. I understand you need the tools, but if you've got everyone pulling in the right direction and everyone has that willingness and mindset, because let's face it, Agile is a mindset. If everyone has that, I do genuinely believe you can go big. Right, okay, was there any other questions in the room?
Really, I just second day what you said really. I was there at a company in 2010, Wigan Gas, and we had 150 people working on an Agile project. We didn't really have any tools, we were all wall boards, basically actual boards.
Yeah.
Post-it notes as well, because the tools weren't there really at the time. And we built the first smart metering project in the country, and that went to plan to be first. So yeah, it's true what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to thanks, Gordon.
There's one more question.
Oh right, sorry. My apologies. I'm moving on already.
There you go. So the only other question is, and I can't really answer this one, but I'll read it out. So, and the question was, how do you keep morale up in the office?
Do that. Every hour, everyone has to take their turn in doing that. Tell you what, everyone would be really happy, wouldn't they? Yeah. You know what? We've got a team at work that 3 times a day, and when I first saw it, I stopped and I went, whoa, they're on a floor of about 500 people, and this team is about 100 people, and 3 times a day they've got a yoga instructor who actually works there. He's a yoga instructor in his own time. But they all stand up at the same time, and they all do these crazy exercises for 10 minutes. Just to get themselves out of the chair, get them stretched, and afterwards everyone's smiling and buzzing. So that's probably one of the funniest things I've seen. I thought it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The whole team was up waving their arms around, and crazy dudes, man. Well, anybody got an answer to that question? How do you keep morale?
Small victories, celebrate anything you
Celebrate success.
Yeah, any success, celebrate it. And it doesn't have to cost money.
Okay. Have you got anything to interject there, Craig? No, okay. Because we spoke on the train about this, didn't we? So celebrate success is one. Anybody else? How do you keep morale up? Oh.
Beer afternoons on a Friday, from like 3 till 5.
Bear. What, so a bear comes in the office 3 till 5? You crazy dude, man. What?
Beer.
Oh, beer. I thought you said bear. Oh my God. I genuinely thought you sat there and said, have bare topless afternoons. And I was like, what? Christ. Okay. It just...
You show long term, you can show like where you're all heading to. That can always build morale. I feel like you're just constantly fighting fires and looking for the short term can really like dampen the spirit. And say, I'm sure your team up. Especially when things are getting a little bit on top of you and you feel a little bit down. Like, this is where we're going. Here's the light at all. This is where we're heading to.
Okay.
So let's see. Keep morale on the team.
Good shout. Upskilling staff. Is that how you keep morale up in the office? I don't know. Ethan at the back. Again?
Don't make it all about work. Our company, sometimes we have little events, like we had a decoration contest for the Euros. That was just something fun. That was an enjoyable thing to do. It wasn't work, but we all did it. A bit of time off.
Okay, so for those on the social media and on YouTube, it was don't just keep it work, do fun stuff in the office like decorate. Hey, you're on a roll now. You come over to this country, I don't know.
What I think is important that you train emotional intelligence into your analysis. So when you see, someone is stressed, or be in tune with a high-level life event, or someone is sick, or the child is sick, or they are recent, like a new parent or something, that send them home, give them some flexibility to work from home or somewhere else, and it's just like accommodate what they need, so it doesn't feel like they have to sacrifice their life and their family for it.
Be human.
Yeah.
So there's just one of them, I'll come back to you. Ian?
Following on the same thing, learning how to identify fear, because it all comes down to when someone's threatened or they feel like, you know, stressed, it's because everyone has a set of rules and something in those rules has been broken, and that's why they feel like afraid or threatened or stressed. So being able to identify when someone's feeling that way is like a really important skill set, and having that emotional intelligence.
So Spotify talk about removing fear from the workplace.
Yeah.
Just very quickly, because there's a question over here. Oh, go on.
So having professional integrity so that someone can come to you with a problem and actually be able to discuss it openly and honestly and not feel that they have to kind of hide it away or deal with it themselves, to be able to talk.
Feels like be human again, doesn't it?
So one thing we provided, for example, on one of the games when we were finaling on Dragon Age, is a concierge service. So when people were working whatever from 8 till 9 or 10 p.m. and they didn't have time to pick up their laundry, there was a concierge service, for example, and the company would pay for it and take care of that. And that's just like another way to take care of your people.
Yeah. We'll go with one last one. Aaron?
Keep people challenged and engaged.
Yeah. Absolutely. There's loads, isn't there? And whoever's watching on Facebook, I hope they've... First of all, I hope we've still got Facebook going. I think we have. But there's been some really good answers there. Maybe this is a talk in its own right, if anybody wants to do a talk later on in the year about this. But it does bring us to the end. My clicker's not working, so if we can move it on one, thank you. So this is just a thanks. So first of all, thanks for you guys for coming tonight. We're nothing without you. I felt it's been a really interactive night tonight. We've had Gordon with his notepad and just asking for questions. We had Gaz, a great talk tonight. So thank you to our two speakers. Thank you to you guys. Our hosts, Launch 22, and our sponsors for the pizza, micro sponsors that is, don't worry. Who are pizzas from? Pizza Slice, American Pizza Slice. So thanks to the guys who have done that. The Flashers. Yeah. And we would love feedback, so we can only make this a better event if we get feedback. So you can do that many ways. You can go on the Meetup app and leave some feedback there. You can do it on Facebook. You can do it on Twitter. You can speak to us. Remember that? Interaction, people and interactions over process and tools. I'm only joking, Gordon. I know, tools will never catch on now. So please, we need your feedback in order to get better. But now it's time for you to go and relax or go home. Come and join us in the pub. We're going to Rigby's. We do have a YouTube channel, and you can leave feedback there. You can watch the videos. They'll be up in, what, probably 2-3 weeks?
Yeah, please subscribe.
Yeah.
We need subscribers.
Why do we need subscribers? Because
So
we're cool.
domain name at the end of the YouTube channel.
Oh, there you go.
One number.
There you go. That's cool. That's got to be cool.
We've got 21 subscribers. We need 100.
Okay, so if everyone in this room went home and subscribed, that would get us almost there. Okay. So a big thank you, guys. Hope to see you again. The next event will be November 24th, and it's a big one. We've got Dan Ashby talking. Now, those of you that don't know Dan Ashby, he's a worldwide talker. He's head of AstraZeneca Global Test Services. He's a really cool guy. I was at a test conference with him yesterday, and he stole the show with his talk. It was superb, and he's going to come here and give us the same talk. So this is a real coup for us. We do try to get quality speakers like we've had tonight, and this is building on that. This is a worldwide thought leader in testing. This is right up there, guys, so you don't want to miss that. When the invite comes out, either tomorrow or over the weekend, please subscribe, because I think seats will go quick for that. And it'll be free again. All right, so thank you very much.